Alright, so today I'm going to be doing a setup on this Fender Jag-Stang. It's a Q serial number with 6 digits, crafted in Japan, so I've dated it about 2002, 2004. Finished in Sonic Blue. Is in really good condition. Couple of tiny little blemishes on the just around the edge on this side, but apart from that it's pretty mint. Yeah, Sonic Blue. These were designed by Cobain. On his In Utero tour he used a prototype and a couple of the gigs, but yeah, pretty good guitars. It needs a bit of a setup, nothing major. The relief on the neck's pretty much there. Action needs hiring, intonation needs setting up, and it needs a new set of strings. So I've got a set of these Dean Markley, what are they, 10 to 52. I've read that his guitar tech said that he used these sort of strings. I'm not sure if it's these exact set. I've also read that he used the blue ones, but close enough for me anyway. So these are 10 to 52, so they're heavy on the top end. Yeah, so I'm going to take the strings off, give it a bit of a clean up on the fingerboard. I'll probably lower that stop tail piece a bit as well, so that looks quite high. Again, set the intonation up, set the action, and I'll have a little play about, see what it sounds like, and then I'll do a full review in the next day or two, because I've also got a couple of pedals. I've said about this before, I've got the Boss DS2 and a small clone, so a few people have said, you know, see what sort of sound you can get, how to get that Nirvana tone, so, you know, give it a go. I won't be using these today, but next video, I promise I'll give it a good test out. But I've been fitting the bathroom, so that's all sort of done now, so I haven't really had time to do a lot. Yeah, so at the minute, so for now, we're going to get the strings off. If anybody wants to hang about and watch me set this up itself, I'll try and do it as quick as I can. And let's see where we go from there. Okay, so I hope you can see that alright. Yeah, so basically changing these strings, and got some wire snippers somewhere. That'll do. Well, actually pinching those pliers, I can't find my wire cutters, but these got a little cut in the middle, so I'm just going to cut these straight off. No messing around. Should really loosen the tuners off a bit, but yeah, who cares. So the tail pieces on these Mustangs, normally Mustangs strings go straight through. These have got the reverse input, so you have to go through, under, and then back up to the tuners. Yeah, so these were sort of an idea of Cobain, where he wanted a hybrid between a Mustang and a Jaguar, and he stuck a couple of Polaroid pictures together, sort of explained what he wanted, and sent it to Fender Custom Shop, and they come up with this sort of design. I know we toured with it. This ain't a direct spec of Cobain's one, because I know he had a Texas special neck pickup, and I'm not sure, I probably had a Seymour Duncan in there. He had modern style tuners. I'm guessing Cobain would have used a Tune-O-Matic bridge. This has got the floating bridge, which I'm going to lock down with a bit of electrical tape. But for now, I'm just going to get these old strings off. And let's move that out of the way. Okay, so I've got the strings off. First thing I'm going to do is Put a bit of lemon oil on the fingerboard. I won't go too mad. Let that soak in. I'll just rub it in a bit with my finger. Doesn't hurt your fingers, don't worry. Yeah, the truss rod adjustment on these is not on the neck, it's the vintage style, so it's not the top of the neck, it's at the heel of the neck. But luckily it's pretty much where I want it to be, so I ain't got to mess around with that, hopefully. I'll let that soak in for a minute, and then I'll get a bit of Mr. Sheen. Bit of furniture polish. Just clean the front of it up. Okay. A bit of a headstock. Yeah, general mods people tend to do to these, I suppose, is change that pickup. It's okay, to be honest. It's not the best humbucker, but a lot of people stick a Seymour Duncan in there or DiMarzio Super Distortion, but for me these are a bit of a collector's guitar, so I try to keep them just stock as is. I always look for the cleanest one, so this is pretty minty fresh and looks pretty sweet in that sonic blue. I don't know what it is now, because whenever I see new Fenders or Squiers in sonic blue, they're always a real pale blue, but they used to be a lot deeper blue. I don't know how this is coming out on camera, but it looks more like the Daphne blue. So I'm just going to pick this up a minute. See the reflection in the light. Go around the back of it. Okay, so on the back, let's show you again. I will do a full review of this. Just on the back of the headstock there, you got the design by Cobain, and the serial numbers on these are on the back of the neck. So this is crafted in Japan with a Q serial number and 6 digits after. Okay. Alright, get that back down. So my next job will be to, actually I'll clean that, I've got it out. So this is just a little bit tarnished, chrome starting to rust up a little bit, but you know, genuine relicing. So my next job will be lock down the floating bridge. Now what I do is just wrap a little bit of electrical tape round, just a couple of turns, and that you want that locked into place. I know, you know, people have their own opinions, but for me, once that's locked in, it helps with the tuning, because that ain't going nowhere. Especially if you're using the vibrato. I don't really use it, but I always find locking that down helps it stay in tune. So just going to get some electrical tape and do that. So, electrical tape. Again, just want to go around a couple of times on the pole pieces. Just enough to stop it moving about in the cavity. It should be good. Don't put it too far down. Also make sure you leave space at the end of the pole piece so that grub screw at the end there can, you see that? Little grub screws, that's what you adjust the string height with. These are preset to 7.25 inch radius like the fingerboard. So what you need to do is just adjust the high and the low E strings, and that sort of generally sets it where it needs to be. The frets on these are pretty much like new, to be honest, just a couple of little bits of wear there, just at the sort of the where you'd be playing like a D chord or an A chord. Up here, hardly anything, so I'm guessing it was somebody who didn't play a lot of guitar, to be honest. So that should be enough, hopefully. Might need a little bit more. On the other side, and we are good. Sometimes I can do this first go, this time I'm not. Okay. Yep, right about there, so that's locked into place now, that's not going nowhere. Next thing, get the Dean Markley strings out. Again, I know we used Dean Markley 10 to 52s. They do these and they do some blue ones, and I've read conflicting sort of reports that, you know, it's one or the two, but they're the same gauge, they're the same company, good enough for me. I don't usually go with strings quite that thick on the low E string, but I'll give them a go. So they are two colours on the end, so you've got brass and violet, so that'll be the A and the E, the B and the E string, high E string. Let me come with these. Let's wrap all that four together. Oh, okay, so that's the G, B and E, and this is the E, A and D. Okay, so we've got a purple one. Right, so I've showed how to do vintage style tuners before. Pretty simple. I prefer using these over modern tuners or locking tuners. So these go through the tailpiece. And you've got to come back under yourself. Careful not to kink the strings too much. Make sure that pulls in tight. And then what I do on vintage tuners is pull the string up to where you want it, so into that tuner, and then I count about 2 up, so that's where I'll cut it. And then do the excess. So with these, you go into the tuner and then twist down and then pull them back and try and go over if you can. That sort of locks into place. Okay, so that's the first one on, tuned up to pitch, and I'm going to repeat that for the next 5, and I'll be back. Okay, so strings are done. Next thing, I'm going to get this tail piece. I want it flat to the body. It sort of hard tails it, so I don't use the tremolo. So if I lock that down into the body, that will help with the tuning. So I'm going to just slacken the strings off a bit, because when you push this down, it's going to get tighter. That's what she said. Again, you don't have to do this way, but this is the way I like to do things. So hopefully I've got an Allen key that fits, which I have, and that goes counterclockwise. So just have to get it where the strings touch the base plate of the vibrato. Yeah, just make sure you slacken the strings off, because if you tighten this down and the strings are too tight, they may snap and you'll have a bit of problem there. That's getting a little stiff, so I think they're good there. Okay, so get my tuner on. Get it roughed up to pitch. Make sure when you change your strings to stretch them out. I sort of did it just after I put the strings on, but make sure you give them a good stretch a few times sort of over. Knock it out of tune a little bit. Okay, so truss rod, the relief, I measured it, is 0.3 millimeters. Next thing I'm going to do is set the action. So I'll quickly eyeball it and see where we're at. So move that around a bit. So ideally on the low E string, I like it about 150, so that is bang on, 1.5 mil, and on the high E string I like it about 1.25 mil, and this is actually nearly bang on the money. Just got to raise the high E string a little bit, so you need another Allen wrench, and there's 2 holes either side of the bridge, and there's a little Allen key in there. You know what? So let's raise that a little bit, and we are there. Let's check that. Okay, yep, so that was an easy setup. So action done, truss rod good, new strings on. Next thing is intonation. Okay, so I've done the truss rod, is how I want it, new strings are on, string height is where I want it, bridge is locked down into place, tail piece locked down. So the next thing is the intonation. I'm pretty sure this is near enough on the money, so not far off. Right, so what you do, open E string, you want to get the next octave up, which is the 12th fret, and then get them in tune together. So make sure your E string's in tune, This is only very slightly out. It's a little bit too sharp, so you need to adjust the saddles with a screw that's on the underside. These are hard to get to. I know this screwdriver I've got here won't really reach, so what a lot of people do with these bridges is flip them round to the screws of that side, but for the sake of this video I'm just sort of going to explain how you do it. It's pretty much there anyway, to be honest, so it's very minor out. Yeah, so you do that for all the different strings and that's basically your intonation set. So for this video, that's probably done setup wise. I'll have a quick plug in and see what she sounds like. Right, so I've got it all plugged in now. Okay, so that's pretty much set up. I will tweak the intonation at a later point. It's pretty much there. That's the clean sound. That's the bridge pickup, neck pickup. So both pickups on in phase. And then both out of phase. Okay, let's try a bit of distortion. So this is just the bridge pickup. Neck pickup. Phase. Out phase. There you go, that's all sort of set up. So next video I'll do will be messing around with a Jagstang with the Cobain sort of style strings on and testing out these two bad boys, see what sort of Nirvana sounds we can get out of these. These are basically what you use sort of probably more your Nevermind sort of tour era. He used the DS2 in utero, but then he changed to a Sans amp, and then a small clone he sort of started using the polychorus. But yeah, this is sort of your basic Nirvana sound. But yeah, next video I'll have a little play with about them and check out this Jagstang some more. But give you a quick close up. A pretty sweet looking guitar. Definitely like the Sonic Blue. Lighting in here at the minute, it's a bit of a pain. So when I put the guitar up close, it keeps going dark, but I hope you see that alright. I really need to fix the lighting in here. Yeah, pretty sweet guitar. So next video will be this. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, hope you learned something. Pretty easy guitars to set up. Again, this is just the way I do them, so you know, other people have their own way, so no bitching to me in the comments below. Yeah, that's about it for now. Check me out, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, The Meat Manifesto. Also, I released a single on sort of iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, all that sort of thing, Animal, by The Meat Manifesto, so check that out if you can, give it a listen. And yeah, that's about it for now, so I'll try and get the next video done as soon as I can. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.